And we welcome Steve Bone to the Pompey Sound microphone. Steve, are you well, and what's on your mind?
Yes, I think I'm well. I'm well. I'm weller than I was last week because we've got some games to look forward to, haven't we? So this time last week we were slap bang in the middle of a nasty international break. Thankfully, we've joined forces and we've got through it together somehow. It's been hard, hasn't it? It's been a tough road, but we're through it, and we've got some proper football to look forward to again. 3 games in 8 days, no less. So it's from nothing to everything, isn't it? From the sublime to the ridiculous or something, and as it should be.
3 prominent Pompey players have lined up and said that we are possibly promotion hopefuls this season. What do you say?
I think you can be promotion hopefuls. I think there's a lot of teams in the Championship that are promotion hopefuls. Obviously, they won't all make it, but that doesn't stop you being hopeful of it in the meantime. Yeah, interesting to hear this sort of stuff from the dressing room. We haven't heard it too much since we were promoted to the Championship, I don't think. People have been a bit cautious about what our aims should be, but there just seems to be a bit of a change in the sort of approach or the outlook from some of the players, particularly Murphy. He's being quite clear, and he's saying, he came to Pompey because he thought they had the potential to get to the Premier League with him as a player here, and he still does. He thinks that before he moves on or retires or does whatever he's going to do, he could be a Premier League player with Pompey. That's good to hear. You want to hear, you want to hear your players talking about that. I don't think it's going to happen this season, and I'm not sure it's going to happen for a couple of seasons, if at all. But you at least at this stage of a season, you want to be looking up, not down, don't you? And I think we can do that at the moment with some of the results we've had so far. We've beaten some good teams. We've beaten Preston and Middlesbrough. We've held West Brom and Southampton. We've almost got a point against Ipswich. The next week will be a big test of these sort of thoughts, these ambitions. But it's at least good to hear the players thinking probably along the same lines as fans.
A few defeats wouldn't do any harm to the over-optimists, and it would stop John Messino's phone ringing off the hook.
That's true. Yeah, if we do too well, if we're top of the table by Christmas, we might have a problem, mightn't we? Although, to spin that around, if we do have a lot of success here, maybe a bit sooner than people expect, then you would hope that he would want to stay and see it out. So yeah, it's a balancing act, isn't it? There's going to be interest in him at different times of the season. There's probably going to be 10 Championship teams that get rid of their managers between now and the spring. He's going to be linked with quite a few of those jobs because of the job he's done with us in the Championship and in League One before it. You've got to get used to it, haven't you? Really, you don't want your manager to be losing games just so as you can keep him for a bit longer. That would never work, would it? But hopefully he'll be around for a long time to come. But hopefully he'll be in an upward direction with us.
Just staying with him, I don't think I can remember a manager having quite such a gold-plated first 3 years at his club.
No, that's probably fair. It's coming up to 3. It'd be 3 years in January, won't it? That he was appointed. He's done very little wrong, has he? I think there were probably a few doubters in that first half a season when he was here. We were a little bit inconsistent, but he was finding his way. He was still getting used to the Pompey squad. It wasn't his squad, was it, at that time? He came in halfway through the transfer window, so you can't really sort of blame him for any shortcomings that he had in his first few months at the club. But since then, promotion the following season, solid first season in the Championship after that, and the signs of, it's early days, but we can say at this point after 9 games, the signs of a better Championship season this time around as well. So it's unusual in football these days, isn't it? Not many managers last 3 years in a job, good or bad. Below the sort of long-serving ones that we know in the Premier League. So he's done well. He's done better than most people would have expected, and he kind of goes against the trend, the national trend, doesn't he?
It contrasts, though, starkly with the wheeling and squealing that greeted his arrival.
Yes, there was a lot of people saying, "Who's this? Never heard of him. Why are we appointing a manager we've never heard of?" Uh, but they over time they've been silenced, and I think people were right to have doubts. This is a big club, and it appeared to some as though a big club had appointed a manager sort of who was maybe beneath where their ambitions should lie. But it just shows, doesn't it? Sometimes you've got to trust what's the phrase we hear so much these days? Trust the process. Trust the people that are doing the due diligence and doing the scouting and everything else. They're not just picking names out of a hat and appointing them. They're doing their homework on them. It was a gamble, but so far it's a gamble that's paid off, which is great to see. It might not have done, but it has, and you've got to get on with it and enjoy it and make the most of it.
Speaking of risks, John Messino's been talking about the risk that you take when you bring in a player that you've only seen on a lap.
Yeah, I didn't see that piece actually, but that's it, isn't it? You can only know so much about a player when you sign him. You might have gone to see him 2 or 3 times, or sent one of your top scouts to go and see him, or you might have seen endless sort of hours and minutes of video footage, but you don't really know until he's in the club and on your training pitch and on your football pitch what he's like, do you?
No.
There's a lot of information and video and analysis out there on players now at our level, an awful lot more than there was sort of 10-20 years ago even. So there's a lot of help that is offered you, but it's still nothing is quite the same than getting that player in the building, as they say, and putting them through their paces yourself, getting to know them and getting to see what they're capable of, and getting to see how they fit into your team. You might have somebody who's a world beater somewhere else, who's hopeless when he turns up at your place, or vice versa. You could easily find someone who, rough diamond, has been about a bit, hasn't really settled anywhere, and it might be that your club is the one that he needs to find his best form.
On this, Popovich, the Socceroos boss, had Matthews and Segicic follow him halfway around the world twice and not play them, presumably because he just wanted to know what it was like to be close up to them.
I suppose so, yeah. I suppose any international manager is gonna use as big a squad as he's allowed to use, isn't he? Whether it's 20, 22, might even be more for some. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are in international football, but clearly, if you're allowed to gather your 22 best players together for an international break, you're going to do it, aren't you? You're not just going to take 16 and see what they can do. So there's always going to be, almost as many players who don't play as players who do. And they do say it's good for, if you've got a young player who's an aspiring international, it's going to be useful for him to be around that squad and to see what they do, see how they train, see what the standards are of the other player, see what the manager's like, see how they get on with the manager and the coaches and everything. But it is a long way to go, isn't it, for no football?
Yeah.
And it's, you do wonder how much Matthews has gained by going away twice and not playing much. Luckily, they left Segicic with us this time, I think, didn't they? Which is good. The only advantage for us in Matthews not playing is that he's not got injured. Unless he's picked up a hamstring strain by carrying the water bottles out to the side of the pitch or something, which you wouldn't put past a Pompey player, would you? But yeah, it's a jet set lifestyle, isn't it? Without much at the end of it at the moment. But Matthews will be in that squad, and he'll be thinking, one day I'll be coming out here and I'll be playing these games. He's only young still, but first of all, he needs to get in the Pompey team to show his international manager, what he can do, doesn't he? And he's not had much chance of that yet.
We're talking on the Thursday before the Leicester game. Do you have any overarching thoughts?
It's going to be a hard one, isn't it? It's a funny one, isn't it? A Saturday evening. You don't get many games on a Saturday evening. And moved because there's rugby in Leicester, big rugby match in Leicester on Saturday afternoon. Which I don't know what the rugby fixtures are, and I don't know the ins and outs of it. But it seems unusual, doesn't it, to move a football match kick-off time just because there's a rugby match in the same city, that must happen regularly, and they don't always seem to play on Saturday evenings. So, it's a bit of an odd kick-off time. So we'll have to wait and see how everybody else does on Saturday afternoon. It's one of those games where I'm thinking anything we can get from it will be a bonus. I think Leicester have had a good start. They've had the sort of start you'd expect them to make. You'd expect them to be up the top there fighting. You'd have thought that Ipswich and Southampton would have been up there with them, a bit closer to them at this stage of things, but they're not so far. So Leicester are the form team of the three that came down. If we can sneak a draw from that one, I think we'll be doing well. I'm not sure we will, really. But you just don't know. There's so many variables after a 2-week break. Our tails should be up after we beat Middlesbrough last time, but that was a long time ago. So who knows? Who knows what the starting lineup will be? I wouldn't have thought there'd be too many changes from the team who played against Middlesbrough. But Leicester have had a good start. They could go second in the table, I think, with a win. Can't quite catch Coventry, who we play next, but be a good test if we can sneak a 0-0 or a 1-1 there. I'll be delighted.
Their fans aren't happy. They're saying that the two centre halves are slow and they implode under pressure, and their centre forward doesn't know where the goal is.
Yeah, that's a strange sort of feeling to come out of the fan base when they've had a reasonable start. But what do they think they've got a divine right to come down to the Championship and win every game or something? Maybe they do. Maybe they've done that in the past. They've been relegated from the Premier League and bounced straight back up, haven't they? So maybe there's a bit of entitlement there. Maybe they think they should be walking away with the league. But we know, having been in this league a little while, and you only have to look at Luton last year, came down and went down again. That's what can happen. So there's no guarantees that a relegated team is going to go straight back up. I think probably most Leicester fans are probably reasonably content with the start they've made. They're there or thereabouts in the table. They've got a base for a good season and a good promotion push. I suppose there's bound to be criticism of individual players. At this stage, the team will have changed a fair bit since they were in the Premier League last season. Well, if we can go up there on Saturday and cause a few more of their fans to be a little upset about the start they've made, won't that be great? That's what it's all about, isn't it?
The legendary Martin O'Neill has had something to say about this, saying it's perfectly normal for clubs when they're relegated to have players who feel a certain amount of shame or ignominy.
Yes, they're bound to, aren't they? Relegation is the worst thing that can happen in football. In terms of it's a whole season's work up the creek, isn't it? It's worse than going out of a cup or having an unlucky goal against you or whatever. It's the whole season ruined, and as Southampton are finding more than most, it can take a little while to sort of turn things around. When you're on a downward spiral, you can't just suddenly stop it and turn it into an upward one. You got to level out first, haven't you? And then gradually climb again. And I think that's what a couple of the sides are finding, certainly Ipswich as well. Like I say, Leicester, they're third in the table. I haven't seen them play, so I don't know how they're playing. Perhaps they're not playing very well. Perhaps they're not very entertaining for their fans. But they're in third place after 9 games. It's not a bad place to be in. All in all, most clubs would be happy to be there.
Coventry wouldn't, or should I say Frank Lampard's Coventry?
Always Frank Lampard's Coventry.
Always.
Yeah, it's flying, aren't they? Top of the table. 27 goals scored in 9 games.
So what's going on there?
And their next round, what, at Coventry? I don't know, because last season, all I know about Coventry last season is that when they came to Fratton Park on the Saturday before Christmas, they were pretty terrible. Callum Lang enjoyed playing against them, didn't he? Got all 4, beat them. We conceded first, and I think, if I remember correctly, we almost went 2-0 down in that game quite early on, like within the first 10 minutes. But Lang then equalised, got a second one before half time, which was a fantastic finish at the Fratton end. 2 more in the second half. Coventry went home with their tails between their legs, and you were thinking at that stage, you wonder how long Frank is going to last in that job. But they had a very good second half of the season. Got into the playoffs, didn't get up, and they've carried that on where they've left off this season. Scoring goals for fun, haven't lost a game yet. And we will see what they're all about next Tuesday night under the lights at Fratton, which really is one to look forward to, isn't it? Should be a great occasion.
Are they a yo-yo club? Are there yo-yo clubs? Ipswich, that lot up the road.
Yeah. There's quite a few clubs you could say that about. I mean, Coventry went right down to League Two, didn't they? They were in League Two for a couple of years, not that long ago. And then almost went straight back up to the Premier very quickly. Didn't quite get to the Premier, but yeah, they've. When I was growing up and watching football in the 80s, Coventry City had always been in the First Division, the old First Division. They were there quite a while before they were finally relegated. I think they were relegated, I want to say late 80s or maybe early 90s. And ever since then, they've been up and down a bit, haven't they?
Yeah.
I have got a little gem for you.
Oh, go on.
While we're talking about Coventry, if I said to you, what have Coventry City recently achieved that has never been achieved by any club in Football League history, would you have any idea at all?
None.
Good.
Can I incubate it, or do you want to go on reveal straight away? I don't mind.
Let's. Yeah, some people will have seen this, so let's do the big reveal. Well, and when you hear the answer, you will probably think, I'm surprised that nobody else has ever done that, because it doesn't sound that hard to achieve. They have become the first team in Football League history, so that's going right back to the start of the league, 1888, to win 3 matches by scores of 3-0, then 4-0, then 5-0. That's their last 3 results in the league: 3-0 win, 4-0 win, 5-0 win. No, surprisingly, nobody else has ever done that.
Oh,
isn't that? I find it strange that nobody else has ever done it, because it doesn't sound that hard to do.
how would somebody research something like that?
This is I should give up my source here, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Bill Edgar, who works for the Times. He's got quite a big following on Twitter, on X, and he comes out with all sorts of gems like this. And he came out with this. He said, Coventry are the first team in league history since 1888 to win successive games in order: 3-0, 4-0, and 5-0. They beat. So it was Coventry 3, Birmingham 0, Millwall 0, Coventry 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Coventry 5. I'm pleased that, and the 5-0 win at Sheffield Wednesday was their last game. I'm quite pleased that they have actually got another game before they play us.
Yes.
Or else we might be in for a 6-0 beating, mightn't we?
You can't rule out 7-0.
No. If it's 6-0 Saturday to them, yeah, we'd be a bit worried, won't we?
If the tea leaves are all pointing in the right direction.
Yeah. There was a near miss in October 1930, which I don't, before my time, before yours. Mick Robertson might remember it.
I'll tell him you said that.
Yeah, Notts County in October 1930 won a game 4-0. Then they won a 3-0, and then they had a 5-0 after that. So they did it in the wrong order. But yeah, never been done before, which is amazing, isn't it? Really, I love little stats like that. We had a game in Sussex this week, a non-league game that finished Shoreham 6, Guernsey 7.
Nice.
A 13-goal thriller down at Middle Road, Shoreham. A scoreline that I said, and other people agreed, don't think I've ever known such a scoreline, no. let alone seen one. So there are some international teams around now that are drawn from countries that have a population of about 200, aren't there?
Are there?
And it's, well, I don't know, I'm probably exaggerating a bit there, but every little group of islands has got its own so-called international football team, hasn't it?
Oh yes.
Just if you see what I'm saying. So you're going to get these
Yes.
Unusual scorelines, and I think most of them are managing to qualify for next year's World Cup finals, aren't they? So 48 teams out there, aren't there? So you don't have to be very good to be at the World Cup final.
OK, we've reached that point now where we look forward to Steve Bones' ever optimistic prediction. Leicester.
Yes, I'm going to disappoint you if you think I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to go for a narrow defeat, I'm afraid, this time. I think we're going to put in a good display. We're going to look like we might get a 1-1 draw, but I think we're going to lose 2-1. And it's not. And if we do, not a disaster if we do, because I think we're going to pick up some points at home next week. So I'm going to go for 2-1 to Leicester. But I'm then also, I know you're not even asked me this yet, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Pompey at home to Coventry.
OK, Cov, 2-1, Pompey.
Note it down. Get it on your spreadsheet.
I am.
Lovely.
I also can reveal to you that because AI can't cope with the spelling of Leicester, all right, we have to input L-E-S-T-E-R.
Okay.
Because the AI robots that we use as newsreaders, they get to Leicester if it's spelt correctly, and you want to hear it. It sounds Welsh. It sounds like a Welsh railway station.
Your mistake was thinking that artificial intelligence is intelligent. I think
it really isn't.
Really, is it?
No.
It might be artificial, but it's not intelligent.
No, and we have to spell Dezel, D''Z-E-L, as in the French.
Otherwise, it's Dozzle.
Yes, it comes out as Dozzle.
Andre Dozzle.
But if you spell it Andre Dezel, as in some French musketeer, then AI can handle it. Always good talking to you, Steve.
And to you.
Talk soon.
Speak to you soon. See you.